My dear friends, welcome back to Into the Van. How are you today? I'll be discussing the new RRD foil, a versatile tool for the wind. It's light for surfing, ideal for downwind, and works excellently with foil drive. Let's explore the new Flyingfish wing together. The wings of the flintfish are all aspect. This guarantees an excellent downwind, an excellent glide even at low speeds, therefore an excellent low end. The rope is very thin and the tips are very tapered precisely to ensure an excellent speed and an excellent precision, especially in descending the waves. It is long and therefore we can make very precise and very fun carves. So the Flying Fish is a wing. It's a set basically that starts at 1003, goes up to 0903 of the smallest areas. And we have 1003, 1059, 107, and 50. The 1003 is my favorite wing this summer. Really, I use it almost always starting from already.
From 89-10 knots of wind, I prefer to always use 5 meters wind, never again. I weigh 80 kilos and I'm not a high level and I'm, let's say, an intermediate, so I really like pumping. But at the same time, having a wing allows me freedom of maneuver. I enjoy doing weaves, turns, a little web driving, and a little downwind. Believe me, the 1003 represents a really great wing. Homogeneity, because from 1003 you have the same sensations up to 7 and 50, and it allows you to start having this experience, this feeling of sliding on the shocks, on the waves.
Indeed.
Having this glide basically means maintaining the minimum speed. The Flyfish has a slightly concave profile at the back of the intrados. This concavity measures 0.5 to 6 millimeters, so not substantial.
Not even 10/10.
That is 6/7 of posterior concavity that gives you that push.
That continuation, then especially on the 1000.
While it nearly disappears on the 750, it still offers an incredible glide. This wing is impeccable. Maneuverless for those who have a very pronounced wingspan, so to get it to turn, you will feel that you really have to feel less more than beyond, though going.
Already down after the 1050 or even 900, you are
Perfectly free. It is no coincidence that our riders already use the 7 and 50.
And the 900 to make self-foil.
Due to its incredible convenience, it features substantial wingspan, providing excellent support, making it the quintessential fly fish.
Available sizes vary from 7 and 50 up to 1006, with an impressive aspect ratio of 9.3 to 10.7 for the 1006 model. I've provided a table for detailed analysis of all technical data, though I highly suggest studying the data and experiencing it in the water, as sensations are paramount. To buy or not, deciding or not to buy such a wing, I climbed the 1003 and immediately fell in love with the light wind and the 1050. Well, on our Ligurian waves, for example, in the western part, Armaditaggia, Imperia, those places there, the 1050 is the top with light medium wind. The connection with the fuselage has been optimized, even though we have an aluminum fuselage. Beware, since the fuselage is so small, the weight is not too different from a full carbon even in the fuselage, so don't be fooled by this. And in the end, the airplane is very light. The connections, of course, are all M8, except in the stabilizer, which has switched to M6. Because there is a why we see it then when we talk about the stabilizers. The wing itself is wonderful even to see taken care of in the smallest detail. But what is most striking is the ability both to lift with little wind and the city to have an exceptional smoothness. Obviously, especially these AD wings by Aspect, maximize their performance combined with a full carbon shaft. This is a wing that was missing in RRD Squiver. It's finally a wing to say Aspect.
Which guarantees an excellent lift in light wind and endless downwind. I immediately fell in love with this wing because it is really fun, maneuverable, and already from Bahan 3, obviously going down, the fun increases. I see the Talon 6 a little more aimed above all at pumping, and then there you also go a little to touch the sphere of the other pumping wing of RD, the Moonfish. The materials of the Flyingfish, we talk about a totally full carbon wing. So the attention to detail and the goodness of the product is typical of these wings that have such an exasperated eye aspect. They are wings that definitely need a high modulus carbon to try to flex as little as possible. The Flyfish is in high modulus carbon, both for the front and for the stabilizers that we will see separately, while instead it comes with an aluminum fuselage. Very short 63 cm to facilitate pamping and to give a little more maneuverability to these very wide wings. Let's take a look at the novelty of this aeroplane, and that is, let's talk about the stabilizers. The stabilizers have been completely redesigned. They are almost flat, but their peculiarity is that we can finally add SKAM. 3 chim are given, 1 black, 1 orange, and 1 white, that depending on the degrees ranging from 0.75 to 1.5, totally change this wing and to really adapt it to our needs and our type of surfing. The black that is 0 degree is the most neutral and the most balanced, the simplest. I advise you to start from this. Then we have orange, which is 0.75. It definitely increases lift and pop. I find it great for pamping. I find it great for the light 20s when we don't want to increase our wing too much in our hands.
Then we have the last monkey 1.5 degree, the white, which is an immediate takeoff, an immediate pop-up.
And to use it, you have to be slightly more active on the foil because it has to be corrected immediately. It rises earlier, but it needs a lot of work. In short, it's an extreme try it and see the differences. I recommend you try it. Do not stop at neutral, because it is right to find the best setups and routes. From this opportunity, the stabilizer passed from M8A M6 behind. But be careful, you can also use the Flyingfish with your old stabilizers, so with your old fuselages. I used it with the 66 fuselage and the 190 blaze stabilizer. As for the measures of the new stabilizers, we have 17 near 192120. The first time I used the Flyingfish, I used it with the foil. I immediately realized that in flight you could make really precise and stable carves and turns. While I went with the foil drive, I tried to imagine what my next trip with the wing might have been like. Because I really wanted to understand what kind of lift it had and how little wind I could go with and how much glide I had. Well, I was shocked. Guys, what didn't RRD do with this wing? The 1003 for me, who weighs 68 kilos, is a wing that guarantees me to leave with a really, really light wind. Once I'm up, I have a crazy low end. I can safely fly even at speed. discreet, not super fast, of course, because we are talking about 1003, but to infinity, I never go down again, even when the wind is really 4 knots. So it really is a winning weapon for light wind. Then I tried the 1050, and then there the game's changed a little. The responsiveness is greater, the fun increases, the lift is still great, the speed is slightly greater, and we start having a little more fun. So where does this Flyingfish stand? Well, personally, as far as RD is concerned, I am so put. I have the Flyingfish 1003 for light wind. Then a Blaze 1002 and 50 for when I go down waves, maybe with a light medium wind. And then I have a Thunder 9 and 50 and lower by square centimeters for when I still want to be a little more performance, because anyway, the Thunder is of a slightly more intermediate level. But this Flyingfish really guarantees me to surf with light wind in these long waves, let's say in style. Really relaxed. It is a wing that, despite its measures, despite its span, which is quite important, is really maneuverable because it is combined with this slightly shorter fuselage that allows us to play. You can use, as I told you before, is the new stabilizer, then buy the whole airplane new because the fuselage has also been redesigned. I remind you that it is still 63, slightly shorter than the old short, which was 66. Or you can use your front with the stabilizer of the Blaze, the 190 or 165, and your old 66 fuselage. It makes little sense to use it in the 76 because anyway, it is a wing that wants to be worked on, and therefore the more agile we are and the sooner we start. Who do I recommend this wing to? For those looking for a really advent front, light but still fun, for those who want to get closer to the downwind and maybe then face it in a more professional way. Going down to the 1050, I would also like to try the smaller ones because in my opinion they can also be a little faster and more fun.
I certainly hope to have an opportunity to give it a try later. It's quite obvious that all the credit goes to the guys at Caucao for discovering these wings, and I sincerely appreciate Paolo Di Sturbatelle for providing me with this chance. Should you visit Spezia, you definitely need to try them out at their store. Here are Paolo's contacts because they have them ready and waiting for you. Thanks again if you reach the end of my message. If you'd like to support me, please subscribe to the channel as this grants you access to a variety of tutorials on board designed to help you progress. Even if you're not subscribed, feel free to comment, give a like, or write to me. Stuart and I always respond, and we look forward to seeing you at sea next time.
The wind foil is pure freedom. It is connection with nature and adrenaline and lightness. With this series, we want to bring them into this world made of wind, waves, and passions. Experiences, tips, and lots of enthusiasm for those who love to fly on water. I'm Nicola.
And I'm Gabriele.
This is Wings of Freedom, the first Italian podcast dedicated to wind foil.